Let me show you something.
Welcome back to Culture Clash Reactions. My name is Fen.
My name's Akasha.
Hope everyone is doing well. And while I'm here...
How is the tune?
Champions League, mate. Champions fucking... Hey, listen, babe.
You can have your moment. Let's go.
Can I have my moment?
Yeah, of course.
We're here. We're here and we're here to stay. You know what the status quo is, right, babe?
Yeah.
We've smashed the status quo to bits.
Yeah.
And they fucking hate that it's Geordies that are doing it. And what makes them even more mad is that it's backed by Saudis. Put them two together, they are fuming. And I fucking love it. We are here to stay. Fucking yes, the Geordies made champion. I can't believe it. Babe.
We'll believe it because we're going to the Champions League, mate.
Babe, we could be playing fucking Real Madrid next season.
Don't get too excited.
Why not?
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
You don't even know. Okay. That's the first thing I want to get. The other thing I wanted to say, actually, my actual hometown is Carlisle. I'm actually from Carlisle, or my mum's from Carlisle. And they got promoted to League One. So if there's any, I doubt it, but anybody out there who is from Cumbria or from Carlisle, fucking get in Carlisle. My grandpa, God rest his soul, would be absolutely chuffed to bits. It was a great final and it was a good shootout, and I watched it and they did brilliant. So my two hometowns, fucking brilliant. Come on, man, the North. That's the first part. Second part, this video. It was a good little video I found. I thought, oh, this would be perfect for the channel. You know how I'm always trying to get you into football, and you now you're like properly getting it and whatever, and you're getting involved. You even asked me for a shirt the other day.
I did.
Don't worry, lad. She asked me for a Newcastle shirt. We're good to go. And I'm always trying to explain to you how the leagues work, right? And what makes it exciting, and what I think like the format is. Maybe because it's the only format I know, but I think the way it is, it's perfect. They're talking about trying to change it up and stuff. I'm not going to bore you with it, but they're talking about changing it up, and they shouldn't.
Okay.
And I'm talking about the Super League and all that. This fucking Champions League is great, man. Anyway, there's a little video that's going to explain how it works. I'm going to dive in bit by bit, and even though I can see in your face you're looking at me like, why are you fucking telling me? Why, Fen? I don't need... Lads, when you get an American bird...
No, time out. I gotta say something really
Go on.
quick. So, I just don't think that the best time to explain these things to me is when we're already like 3 beers in, halfway through the game, and you get a little buzz, and you get all excited, and you're
I
like...
explain to you why it's important.
Babe, champions, I'm gonna explain to you how... And I'm literally like...
Yeah, she's had a few beers. I've got the phone up. Like, see that imaginary line? That's fourth. Next one, Europa
and I'm
League.
like this. Yeah.
She's going, yeah. So now you have no choice. We've only had 1 or 2 drinks.
Okay.
The video's going to help.
Okay.
You must understand how it works by the end of this video.
No, I would like to understand since we
I'm
watch
going
it.
to
I'm in it
ask
for
you
life.
questions at the end of the video.
Oh, fuck.
To see if you know what we're talking about.
Okay.
If anyone out there has got not even an American girlfriend, even a foreign girl or a foreign wife, and you're a footy fan, this is your homework, lads. This is your duty. You have to make sure they know what the fuck is going on, right? Should we get into it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay, title of the video.
Does it literally say a guide for Americans?
Yeah, because Americans more than anybody else.
No, I was just making sure.
Get
That's
it.
what it said.
Europeans have their own leagues, and so they understand it's mainly for Americans.
Okay.
Right? Ready?
I love how it's literally like looks like it's written out. Like some man did this for his bitch.
For his children.
Did you do this? Is this actually something you did?
No, I
didn't.
didn't.
Okay.
Welcome to Understanding Soccer in Europe in 4 Simple Steps, a guide for Americans.
Pause.
Although from the outside it may
Pause.
seem complex,
I just realized this literally has nothing to do with the channel. Like, I'm saying, I mean, it does, but like, you didn't pick this video. It's like, oh, this would be good for the channel. This one was solely for just
This is for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is solely for me.
Are you going to post this?
Yeah, I'm going to post it.
Okay,
I was going to show you this video anyway, but I thought we might as well share it with the crew.
Okay.
If the video's shit, I'm still going to post it. I don't care.
All right, whatever.
This is important. It's your duty, lads. They have to understand.
Your
right.
duty.
Right. Sorry, your duty. Right,
go.
ready?
and confusing, to understand how soccer works in Europe, you really only need to know 4 things. Number 1, each country has its own soccer league. Seasons run from August to May, in which each team plays every other team twice, once at home and once on the road. Games are divided into 2 45-minute halves. And when the game is over, the winner is awarded 3 points, the loser 0, and in the event of a tie, each team gets 1 point.
Honestly, this is
All
really
good
good
so
because
far?
I'm a visual learner, so this is
Okay.
great.
So
I might
all good
actually
so
retain.
far, yes?
Yeah.
Every European has its own league.
Yes.
They all play each other home and away, so they play each other twice.
Yes.
Cool.
After each team has played all the other teams twice, the team with the most points is crowned champion of the league. They get a big
Simple. Yeah?
Everyone-
No playoffs. Did we make the playoffs?
I
Did
don't
we...
need. This isn't a video to dig at us.
I knew you were going to do that. Okay, this is not a shit in America video. You're right. It's not.
Okay.
But this whole, it's real simple. Whoever ends up with the most points.
So everyone plays each other twice.
Yep.
Whoever ends up with the most points wins the league.
End
If
of
you
story.
win the game, you get 3 points. If you lose, you get 0.
And,
And I do remember if you draw, you get each gets 1 point.
Very good. I'm glad that you used draw and not tie.
I remember.
Good job.
Okay.
And also, sometimes, because somebody asked me the other day, they were like, yeah, but that means that mathematically, sometimes somebody's won the league before the league's even over. Because mathematically,
Right.
they have way more points than the person who's in second. Even if the person who's in second won all their games and the person in first lost all their games, they still wouldn't catch them. So yes, sometimes the league can end with 3 weeks to go.
Right.
Right? We don't like that to happen, but it can happen. It happened this year. This year it happened with 2 weeks to go, 2 games to go.
And then what? They just play their games.
They
like
just
normal?
play the last games out anyway. Right?
That'd be fun. No pressure.
Yeah, well, not for everyone because everyone's playing for something. So Newcastle were playing for Champions League.
We're getting it.
Yeah, sorry, no, we're getting too far ahead. Right, ready?
Yeah.
Go.
trophy, a parade, and the season is over. There are no playoffs. Sort of. But more on that in a minute. Before the books are closed on the season, there is still one small bit of housekeeping to be done. Number 2, relegation.
Relegation.
We'll use the German league as an example. Every year, when the German league has concluded and the champion has been crowned, the 3 teams with the least amount of points are kicked out of the league.
I thought it was 4.
This process is known as
3.
Oh.
3
I just
go up,
remember
3
looking
go
at that
down.
table. I thought, 4 is the Champions League.
Champions
I'm thinking,
League
it's
at the
because
bottom.
that's where we are now. So
Yeah,
that's
because
what-
we Newcastle lived towards relegation table. That's why
When we got together,
when we
you
got
were-
together, I was constantly fucking, babe, we're gonna get relegated, and you had no idea what I was talking about. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. That sounds terrible. What the fuck is he talking about? No, babe, we're gonna get relegated for a 3rd time. I have no idea what he's talking about. Okay, so now you get it.
Yeah, I get it.
And I explained to you why getting relegated is so bad. It's bad mainly economically,
Because people lose jobs and stuff.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Financially, it's terrible for the as
For
a company.
everybody. It's like
for
a
everybody,
treat.
and even just to catch games, because every Premier League game is televised,
Mm-hmm.
so you can always catch the game. Whatever. When you're in the Championship, no one gives a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So only 4 or 5 games a year of your team are
Right.
actually televised. So
Right.
there's a bunch of reasons why no one wants to get
I'm sure
relegated.
the players get a mad pay cut too.
I think so.
relegation. The 3 vacant spots are subsequently filled by the top 3 teams from Germany's 2nd division. And unlike, say, baseball in the US, teams in the 2nd and subsequent divisions are not owned by teams in the top division. Imagine if the Pittsburgh Pirates or Oakland Raiders had to fight at the end of each season just to stay in the league. What if instead of coasting to the bottom for better draft picks, they were fighting to the bitter end to avoid the $40 million revenue loss that relegated teams suffer in the first year alone?
Jeez.
Not to mention the fact that in England, 9 different teams have gone financially insolvent within 5 years of relegation.
Right.
Wow.
Okay, interesting enough, you're thinking. But what about that whole lack of playoffs part? Number 3. Each country also holds an elimination-style tournament, referred to as a cup. But instead of being held after the 9-month league is over, cup games are scheduled in between league games, normally in the middle of the week. One additional perk about the cup system is that teams from all levels, down to semi-professional and even some amateur teams, are invited to play. And if they do well,
Can you
progress.
elaborate a bit on that one?
So that one's where it gets a little bit. So as I explained to you, every calendar season, at least for Premier League teams, actually no, even all professional teams, there are 4 trophies to be won every season. Okay,
Yeah.
4 that you can possibly get your hands on. One is the Champions League. Obviously, you can only get your hands on the Champions League if you qualify for the Champions League.
Yeah.
So for most teams, it's actually only 3 that are up for grabs, right?
Right.
Cool. And the reality is of the Premier League is so difficult to win. I mean, Manchester City have won the last 5 out of 6. That's how difficult it is to beat them, right? So meaning that your teams like West Ham, Leicester City, Fulham, whatever, the reality is they have 2 trophies up for grabs if you want an actual trophy.
So the lower down you go on the totem pole, the less
chance of you winning a
A
trophy.
cup.
But what is technically up for grabs is either 4 or 3, technically, at the beginning of the season, right? So you got the Champions League, as he's going to explain, the Premier League, and then within the 9 months, from September to May, there's 2 knockout competitions. What does that mean? That means me versus you. If you lose, you're out.
out.
You saw the kind of table that he did there. It was good. You know, the way like all the lines or whatever.
Well, that's how they do it in like basketball over here. Because I just remember seeing that on the screen for like March Madness in basketball. It's the same thing. Like the teams, and then you get knocked out if you don't get it until you get up to the top, and there's only two teams left.
Right. Well, we have 2 trophies that are the same style like that. So most Premier League games are played on a Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
And most Champions League games are played on a Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? So most people.
I also want to just reiterate, the more information that you feed to me that's not pertinent, I'm gonna not have room in my brain for information that is important.
All of this is important. Every last word I'm saying is
just,
important. So the next time I start talking about football, you better understand after
I'm
this
just
video.
letting you know, if you overload someone, that's like the number 1 rule of teaching. I'm not a teacher.
Okay,
You're definitely not a teacher.
I'm also explaining as we go along. So there's 2 trophies. One we call the Carling Cup, the other one we call the FA Cup. The FA Cup is actually more prestigious than the Carling Cup. I'm not entirely sure why. I think it's because the FA Cup has a huge history. It's been around since 1800, right? It's been around forever.
Okay.
But the reason why these 2 trophies are special, the Carling Cup in particular, the FA Cup, is because anybody can play anybody. So in the Premier League, only Premier League teams play each other.
Mm-hmm.
In the Champions League, only Champions League teams play each other. But in the FA Cup and the Carling Cup, in particular the FA Cup, everybody can play anybody. It's a draw. It's like they put like all the teams in a big hat, and whoever comes out, so it could be, so as I say, there's Premier League, Championship, League 1, League 2. So there's times where a League 2 team will be pulled out of a hat against Manchester City, the champions of the Premier League, which, by the way, is very exciting for the lower league teams because 1, it means they're going to be on TV, so they're going to get TV revenue, and 2, it means that these lower league lads who just kind of do this as like it's like a full-time job for them, they're going to be playing fucking superstars. Mm-hmm. They're going to be playing your LeBron Jameses of soccer.
People
they
probably look up to, yeah.
Hugely look up to. So that's what makes these 2 particularly special, right? And they're played in the middle of the week. Mm-hmm. So Premier League games are on Saturday. Champions League games are usually Tuesday, Wednesday. But as I say, only few teams are playing the Champions League. So usually the Tuesday and Wednesday slots are filled with FA Cup or Carling Cup games. Make sense?
Press, and occasionally even knock off a top team. So every year, these midweek elimination games continue until there are only 2 teams left who play each other in the cup final. After 90 minutes, a cup champion is crowned, they get a trophy, and a parade. So, between the league and cup games, we get a great picture of who the best and worst teams in each country are. But wait a second, you ask. What would happen if the best teams from each country in Europe all got together and played each other? Good idea. Number 4. The resulting competition is called the UEFA Champions League, and it is without a doubt the single greatest club competition of any sport anywhere in the world.
I think even better than the World Cup.
Think of the NCAA tournament, but with better quality of play, more than double the fan base, and quadruple the enthusiasm. And yes, Europe even has their own version of the NIT as well. So, through a complex and drawn-out process, teams from all over Europe compete just to qualify for this tournament. And starting each September, the top 32 teams are put into 8 groups of 4. Each team plays the other...
Okay.
Got
top
it?
32 teams, 8 groups of 4.
Right. And how do they choose? Because obviously, let's say England, Germany, Spain, and Italy are huge footballing nations, right? So they get 4 teams. But let's say somebody like, I'm trying to think top of my head, Belgium. The Belgian league, I think, get 1, maybe 2 teams.
So that's how they pick the 32.
So that's how they pick the 32. So like in Belgium, we'd have to finish first or second to be in the Champions League.
Right.
So
it's in the smaller countries, it's harder then, I guess.
Well, I kind of, but also in the smaller countries, usually the best teams dominate. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I'm trying to think of like
I'm
trying to think of like a good example. I can't think of the top of my head.
Okay.
And I think like in France, you might get 3 teams. It's based on like the quality of football, the quality of nation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you choose your 32 teams, and then they're all, again, pulled out of a hat and put into he's going to explain.
Okay.
Each team plays the other members of its group 2 times, once at home and once on the road.
Got it?
Come December, the winner and runner-up from each group move on to the knockout round.
The winner
and this is where club soccer is at its finest. Teams are paired up individually and again play 1 home and 1 away game.
Cool. So after the...
Yeah, I got it. So after the 32...
After the little mini league thing they do,
fours,
it goes into knockout.
They get down to 2. The other ones get knocked out. So
3rd
the
and
top
4th
2,
get knocked out.
And then they play a home and an away each.
Head to head.
Right.
Right.
I see.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There's no more like little mini leagues or whatever.
And then I get it. And then they're
so it's like if Newcastle played Real Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
If Real Madrid won the first game 1-0, but on the second game, Newcastle won it 2-0. Newcastle go through because on aggregate, on total, Newcastle won 2-1.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
And they would then go to the final 8. And then the final 8 would do it again, and
There,
so
he's
on.
going to explain that.
With the winner from each pair moving on to the next round until only 2 teams remain. The Champions League final is then held as a single game each year in May. And unless it's the World Cup year, this is the most important soccer game of the year. After 90 minutes, a champion...
What if Newcastle gets
Where?
in there?
Champions League, which bit? I reckon we could make it to the knockout stage, the final 16, because it goes from 32 to 16 to 8. I think we could
What
get
if
to
they
16.
make it all the way to the top 2?
This shows you how little she knows about football.
Champion is crowned, the trophy is awarded, parades commence, and all clubs go on break until the madness fires back
I
up
know,
again in
now we're
August.
bored.
So, to
We're
review,
fine.
number 1, each country has its own league. Number 2, the worst teams are kicked out of the league and replaced by the best teams
3.
from the next division down. Number 3, throughout the year,
Everyone
each
can
country
play.
also holds a playoff-type tournament called a cup. And number 4, the UEFA Champions League is a tournament involving all of Europe and is the most important competition in all of club soccer.
Only the best team wins that.
Okay.
Excellent.
Okay, cool.
He did a decent job. Okay, questions.
Baby.
Go on.
No, I'm just nervous.
You're nervous now, baby. No, questions. Do you have any questions?
Oh, do I have questions?
Yes.
No, I thought you were going to ask me questions.
Oh, yes, I'm going to ask you, but do
I
you have
should
any
have taken
questions?
notes.
Yeah. I'm going to drum this into you, babe. We are now getting married.
Yeah,
We're
I
together
know.
forever. There's no way I'm explaining this shit to you every season going, babe, why is this important? This is
No,
important
obviously
because...
not every season. Obviously, I'm going to get it eventually.
No, you're going to get it this summer.
I say that, but I was a cheerleader in high school and for a couple of years, and I still can't tell you the rules of football.
Right. And that's a
I mean, I know the basics because we did a football video, but I
Right,
mean,
right,
like, the ins and outs.
Right, okay. Well, that's not going to happen in our household.
Okay.
And we're going to have kids, so our kids have to understand football.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so let's say okay, what's the best league in England?
Champions League.
No, the best in England. What is the best league? What's it called?
The Premier League.
Thank you. Do you know what the next one is?
The
Go on, babe. You got it. Come on. It's there. I see it. Say it.
It's not the Champions League.
No, it's called the Championship.
Championship.
Right? So we've got Premier League, Championship. Then
Right.
we got League One,
League 1, League,
League 2. After League 2, it's known as non-professional. Forget after League 2. You don't need to
Right.
know that shit.
Those are the guys on Love Island. They're like, I'm
Yeah,
a
yeah,
professional
I'm a professional
footballer,
footballer,
but
yeah,
they're
they
not.
play Okay, cool. Love Island. Anyway,
Love it.
so let's say the 3 teams from the Championship, not the Premier League, from the Championship get relegated, right? The last 3 teams. Actually, in the Championship, I believe it's 4 teams, not 3
I
teams.
thought it was the Premier League that gets relegated. So then the Championship
Also,
moves up.
right, but
Oh, they go down to the next league.
so let's say the teams that finish, keep it simple, the teams that finish the last 3, even though it's 4 in the Championship, the last 3 that finish in the Championship, what happens to those teams?
They get relegated to the
To
lower league.
to League
League
1.
1.
So who takes their place in
The
Championship?
top 3 of the League 1.
Thank you. Excellent. Okay, very good. Very good. Okay. Who gets to play in the Champions League? Who is in the Champions League? How do you get into the Champions League?
You beat.
What?
You beat. We didn't cover this.
Yes,
bro.
we did. You are failing miserably right now. They choose 32 teams, right?
Oh, that one. They
Yeah.
choose the best 32 teams.
How?
The top ones.
Who says
the
that they're
top
the best
ones from the country
from each country?
from each country.
Excellent.
So like in England there was 4, but in the smaller countries
There's like
it
1
might
or
not
2.
be as many.
Very good. Excellent.
It's just, baby, I'm not even trying to play dumb and play stupid.
Go on.
I'm just actually this stupid.
It's a lot. No,
No,
it's a
it's
lot.
only because there's a lot of champion, Premier, league. That's what I'm getting confused. It's
Right,
not
the
because
names.
I'm literally stupid.
No,
and
no, I
can't
know you're not
retain it.
stupid,
I'm
no.
just getting them mixed up.
No, I get it, but it's
Stupid
important.
American.
We're just doing it on camera. Really, we should do this in the privacy of
No,
our
we
home.
really do. I'm putting
But
it on blast in front of everybody.
No, we're doing it right here, right now. Is that you got to understand?
Right, the top ones from the countries.
Right.
And they get
when
invited
does when does the league run from? When does it start? The league. He said it runs from.
August
Very good.
to May.
Very good. June, July, August is what?
So it'll be May to August. Oh no, August to May.
Thank you. And then June, July, August is. Sorry.
When we're bored.
When we're bored, which is right now. I don't know what to fucking do with myself, right?
Read a
Cool.
book.
But remember every 4 years the World Cup
Right.
lands in one of those summers.
Right, so that's
and
why.
there's obviously every 4 years there's also the European Championship. So this year's an odd year, 2023. So there's no European Championships or World Cup. It's shit. It always lands in the even years. So
We're literally getting married in like 2 months, and he's like, "This is shit."
I'm so bored.
Like,
She's
what
like,
the fuck?
we're getting married in 2 months. We got plenty of nights. Yeah, but I was like, but there's no World Cup. Anyway,
Wow.
so okay, excellent, very good. I think you've pretty much got it. I think, and then that's why. Remember when we went to go see the final, Manchester United versus Newcastle United, and I said Newcastle hadn't won a trophy since 19 donkey forever.
Yeah.
That was the Carling Cups. That was the lesser of the two knockout stage cups that he was talking about. There's 2 of those every year.
Okay.
That was the lesser one, but it's still a trophy. Something Newcastle haven't won in decades.
Okay.
So we would have been chuffed to bits, but of course we got beaten.
Okay.
So just so you understood why that was a big day, because I remember I woke up that day and I woke up early and I had the Geordie
Yeah, and
song.
you found the freaking
I'm
Spotify
coming
playlist with all
home,
those
Newcastle.
songs. Oh my god. And this is how like he was literally like, babe, hurry. No, I'm sorry, not babe. Babe. Babe, hurry up. I found a place that's playing it, and we need to get there super early because it's going to be packed. We go in, there's literally, like,
3 guys in there.
no lie, 3 guys. And Fen's literally like, is it playing?
We're in Florida,
Like,
by the way, if
thinking
anyone's
that
wondering. We're in
thinking that
Florida,
it's-
so
thinking that
obviously.
it's like, everyone's going to be piled in to see his team. No one gives a
No
fuck.
one gives a shit. Ah, fucking hell.
Dude.
But yeah.
Okay.
Cool, but I think you've got it. But I also want you to understand why football is special, because it is special. And again, I'm not trying to shit on the American teams or American sports, but the whole layout, how it works, makes absolutely no fucking sense, and is all it's shit. Because like somebody was explaining to me the other day. No,
It's
It's
shit.
shit. Somebody was explaining to me.
No, but I think that most Europeans would say that about American sports.
No. It is shit. And I'll explain
No, I'm
why.
saying most of them would say that.
Right. Yeah. Well, they would because
Because it's shit.
we know because it's shit. That's what I'm not saying it because they're being biased because they're European. Well, I'm not. Okay, maybe not. Okay, no, fuck it. It's shit.
You need to calm down.
No,
You're getting,
because
like,
I
bright
know
red.
in the comments gonna be like, listen, bro, fucking you suck. No one cares about soccer. No, they do. Just you guys don't get it. The point is, in the NBA, for example, I was asking the lads, what happens to the teams that finish like last? They said, Fen, most teams, what happens is when they realize that the end of the season's coming and they know they're going to finish like towards the bottom, they on purposely lose because people want to finish lower than their rivals because it's something to do with you get the first pick for the draft next season.
So then you just start being strategic at that point. You're like, we're not
So
going to win. So
it's actually rewarded to be shit in America. Like, and that obviously people start.
Oh, you're
fixing the
talking
games.
about us.
In America, yes.
Oh, okay.
The NBA, when it comes towards the end of the season, let's say let's say there's 20 teams, and there's a team in 18th, 19th, and 20th.
Well, that's because we don't have this whole like relegation thing.
That's a problem, though. So that's what I'm saying is that there's no incentive for smaller teams. Like we at the minute in the Premier League now have a team called Luton Town. Okay, that's just been promoted like 4 times in 7 years. Right, they came down from League 2. Their stadium, the entrance to their stadium is somebody's house. They have to go through someone's house to get into the stadium. That's like how
small it is.
Yeah, but it's so charming to think that a team from fucking nothing is in the Premier League, is going to be playing Manchester City and all these huge teams. They have to go through someone's house to get into the fucking...
Yeah.
Do you understand how there's something special there? Here, they're all franchises and it's all this like money-making machine and it's all very scratch your back, scratch my back. And like I say, the bit that I couldn't get my head around was the bit where they're actually, towards the season, they're trying to finish last because they get first pick of the best new players the season after.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm 100% sure. They were explaining this to me. I said, not only are you not getting penalised to finish last, you're getting rewarded for finish. That doesn't make any sense. So for us, the reason
that would make
works
sense,
better,
especially if you come from
So that's what I mean. It gives the lower teams like Luton Town, who are now in the Premier League, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like their stadium is a shit tip. Like, but they're I mean, it is shit, right? And they're in the Premier League. But there's something I find charming about that there's going to be like these superstar players who have got to go to shitty little Luton Town. I don't care how many millions of dollars you got to get in that go through that somebody's house, get in the shitty little locker room. Yeah, Mr. Gazillionaire. Whereas like in the NBA, there are all these franchises, so it's all like everything's big. You know what I mean? Like there's something really endearing and charming, and what makes football special. And that happens all over Europe. It's not just in England.
Okay.
So anyway, this video's gone on way longer than it needs to be. Way.
Did you notice I just stopped responding so that
Yeah,
eventually
yeah.
you would have no? But that's
know.
not true. I'm just kidding, baby. I'm genuinely, I want to be involved in like, no, I know,
love that.
no, we joke about it, but there
Go
is
on.
nothing worse than when you like are into something, and even if your partner, they don't have to be into it, but you should care or pretend to
Right.
care,
Yeah.
which I do care. I'm not saying I'm pretending, but you know what I'm saying. Like
Right.
what I was saying about me texting and
Especially,
stuff.
I love
I
Newcastle,
do
man.
try. I
Right.
do try.
Like, I love it.
Because I don't want to shit on something that makes you happy. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? And
Yeah.
fucking hell, it makes you happy. It
Yeah,
makes you
it does,
happier
man.
than
This
me,
season in
mate.
particular, oh, what a season we've had.
That is so exciting, though.
So happy.
I got into it really this season, obviously because of the whole Newcastle thing, just knowing like the background.
Eddie.
And
King
also
Eddie.
because when we got together, like when he would turn on the game, I'm like, oh no, like.
Just yelling.
No, literally,
Just-
because I always have the window open in our apartment, and as soon as he would click it on, I'd be like,
Close the window because
because
the
he
neighbours
would
are going to hear. Because we
scream.
were that shit.
Yeah.
We were that shit.
Just
Fucking
frustration.
Stevie Bruce, a clown. Anyway, let's not go
All right,
backwards.
let's get off of it.
All right, anyway. I hope you learned something yourself if you are not a football fan, maybe, and maybe understood why. I don't know. I just hope somebody out there enjoyed this. Let us know in the comments, please, and give us a like.
And check us out at Culture Clash Reaction.
Do that. Until next time, thanks for joining us. Whoever would have found this entertaining.
People have probably clicked off at the point.
Yeah,
They're like,
probably
oh
left
my
by
God.
now. Probably left by now. Anyway, thanks for joining us. See you all later. Ta-da.